Morning tango. Morning tango. Morning tango.
What's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to be making a beat using some drum techniques that I want to show you guys. It was a comment on my last video asking for something to do with drum patterns, so I thought I'd just go and make one for you. Although this video is about using drum patterns and how you can really listen out for what you should be putting into your music, I'm also going to be showing you some techniques to do with mixing and stuff that you can do with an EQ to really help build your drums out even more. What I mean by that is if I go into my mixer channel and I find the sample and I put an EQ onto it and then let the sample play, you can see that where all the frequencies are. And you can see from a band 7 and above is pretty empty, which is where your open hats, your hi-hats and the high end of your claps will be. So we know that we want to put a lot into there to fill out the frequencies a little bit more, and that we don't really want too many things in between 2 and 4, let's say. And we want to keep band 1 and band 2 specifically for the 808 and kick. So with that little tip out of the way, I'm just going to get straight into it. I'm going to try and build the drums in one go and sort of explain what I do as I go along. Sort of help you picture what goes through my mind when I'm putting down some drums. When I'm starting out building my drums, I add the clap in first. This helps build a bit of rhythm and also make sure that the sample is on time if I didn't make it myself. And most of you know that your clap goes on beats 3, which is here, and then beats 7, which is in the bar next to it. Also known as sort of the middle bar between these. And then you can duplicate these over. I'm just going to boost the velocities a slight bit. So one thing that I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to add a soft clipper onto my master channel, so that way when we start building in layers, nothing really gets too carried away. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into my drum kit and I'm going to find an open hat that I can use as sort of a layer to go with my kick and my 808 eventually when I add them in. And I like using this style one the most. If you haven't got my drum kit already, I'll leave a link up here somewhere. It should be in the top right corner, and just go and grab it. It's completely free. Got trap drums in there that you can use, and they're industry sounds, so they sound perfect no matter what you're making. So for my open hats, I like to start off with adding one on the downbeat and then sort of delaying it in the second one, so it sort of goes by here, and making the velocities a little bit quieter. And then I can copy this over, and then when I listen through to it, I just go to boost and turn down the velocities as it goes. That sounds a bit perfect. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to move that up by using Alt and up arrow, and then I'm going to select my, it says clap, it's more of a snare, it's a hybrid snare if I play it. You can hear it's a snare with a clap layer. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to add this. So for my snares, I kind of keep them in a very similar pattern throughout all of my productions if I include them, and that is one here and one here. This is the same as playing it by here, so it would sound like this. But what we need to do is we delay this one over a bar. Sort of gives it a little bit more bounce. So now with the sample it sounds like this. Sounding pretty good so far. So if I go back into the EQ that we had earlier and I listen to it, we should see now that band 7 should be a little bit more full. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back into our playlist and we're going to mute the bass, so that way we can go in and add the 808 and we won't be clashing. So now we can see that the sort of area that we need to fill in should be about 2 and below. That's where the 808 could be hitting. So in fact we're going to go into this EQ that's on the sample and we're just going to chop out any frequencies below there. So with the 808 it can take a little bit of trial and error finding the right notes. However, if the key is given to you, let's say this one for example is in D minor I believe, the root note is most likely going to be D. But make sure that you're careful because the hashtag key doesn't show up in file names, it gets deleted. So if it doesn't sound right on D, try D sharp or also C sharp, because it can either be flat or sharp. So you can see here, although the file says that it's in D minor, it's actually in E flat minor because the hashtag doesn't show up. that sounds pretty perfect already. You can hear the crunch when you have the open hat in, and this will be even more obvious when I go in and add the kick. Now most people would go in and add the kick below all of the 808 hits. I don't do that. The kick in this genre is mostly to emphasize a certain phrase. So what I do is I put it on every layer where the open hat hits. That way it punches through and it sort of adds a bit more of effect to those simple beats. So it would end up looking a lot like this. Now where we have this double hit over here, if I just move that back into time, I'm going to add a kick just after it, so it's sort of give a little bit more bounce, if anything, which sounds super clean. The last thing that we really need to be adding is the hi-hat, but that in itself comes with a bunch of sort of rules or limitations that you should really be looking out to when you're adding in these drums. For example, everything right now has been rhythmic but fairly simple. The hi-hat is what carries a lot of the energy and a lot of the bounce that we want in this music. So going in and adding a basic two-step hi-hat pattern to start off with, you'll be able to notice a bit more rhythm, but as soon as you go in and add chops and stutters and low notes, you can really understand the whole scope of the rhythm. So to show you how I'm doing this, I'm just going to mute everything but the clap and the hi-hat, and I'm then going to go in and make it a two-step pattern, and we're going to go in and add little rolls, chops and stutters like I said, to make it a little bit more complete. So here we have sort of the finished hi-hat piece that I'm going to be writing for this track. You can see that there's a lot of fast rolls. This D4 note is where I normally put all the rhythmic notes, which if they're not there, you're not really missing out on a whole lot, but when you add them in and you listen to it, you can sort of feel the drive that they bring in. So I'm going to check that I haven't overcluttered everything now by adding in the rest of the drums and just listening to it through. That is sounding crazy tough right now. Just to let you guys know that I'm going to be adding this video into a playlist called tutorials, where all of my past videos about explaining how to do things will be in there, so you can go in any certain topic that you're not too sure of. If I haven't covered it yet, make sure to go down into the comments and let me know so I can get around to making a video for you guys. But yeah, that's about it from me. I'm just going to go through this and sort of tidy it up, get it ready for the outro. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did enjoy this. And once again, let me know down in the comments if there's anything you want me to cover. Thanks a lot for watching, and I shall see you again soon.